Okay, quickly going over the patch notes. I mean, it's everything we already read, right? Rank 2 split and dude, I'm not even matchmaking. Okay, this is the thing I'm most excited about. Basically, Riot is saying that they're gonna make matchmaking better in high elo, especially at the top of the ladder. Increased offer parity, both teams should now have a more similar amount of players autofill or place into their secondary role. Thank you! You know why this is so important? Because Riot did not count secondary role as autofill, okay? So let me give you an example. You could have 4 players on your team on secondary role, and enemy team is gonna have 5 players on main role. And Riot Matchmaking is gonna determine that it's an equal fucking match, because apparently in their mind everyone is on main role, which is stupid because obviously secondary role is not your main role. So thank you for that one. This is the biggest one for me. Reduce how large LP gaps could be between players in a game. Decrease the red versus blue side imbalance, especially in high MMRs. Wow, Nemesis might go back to playing a challenger if it gets any better, bro. Nemesis might go back playing in challenger. Probably not though, because support is still way too OP. Boosting and rank manipulation penalties. As of this patch, we'll be increasing the penalties for the first-time offenders participating in malicious forms of rank manipulation, such as account boosting, win shading, and deranking. Wait, what does that mean? Deranking? Oh, that means like playing to iron by constantly losing. Career stats profile. We introduced the career stats page because there were a lot of players looking to dive into the nitty-gritty details of match history. If you're looking for other ways to view this information, here are some of the third-party partners we'd recommend checking out. Mobalytics, League of Grabs, OPGG, UGG, Tracker Network, BleachGG. Didn't introduce Law Analytics? Okay, let's go over the patch. So Azir is gonna get health region armor buff. Okay, this is gonna matter more in low elo, especially the health region buff, whatever. Makes his laning phase a little bit better. That's about it. I mean, damage-wise, still gonna be the same champion. Spiking the same levels as before. Big Corki nerf, 20 more mana on Q. That's gonna matter, especially around level 3, level 5, when he has like a tier, and then he's spamming too much Qs. And he doesn't play... No, he does play cookies. Cookies still gonna be even more necessary now. Q cooldown up by 1 second. Well, it doesn't really change the fact that Corki Q does insane amounts of fucking damage. There's nothing here to address that problem, right? Corki Q just does way too much damage. Like, why are we not addressing that at all? Like, this is so fucking insane. Fuck you guys. Katarina now is gonna do 40 more damage on Q, so now you're gonna have a playstyle of going like Ari, Lianji, Rush, Katarina, where she's gonna be Qing you and then Eing to a bush, Eing on a minion, and proccing the domination keystone, what is it called? Sudden impact. Loses some damage on E, loses some R on hit effectiveness. Yeah, just gonna be pushed more towards more of poke playstyle with Q, and push towards more of AP Katarina, right? So the problem with this change is also that D-Shield is worse against Katarina now. With Q being stronger ability, this means that D-Shield is a worse item against Katarina, by the way. Oh, let's finish reading this patch notes. So again, Corki, Azir a little bit better in lane, bigger buff for low elo players. Corki, he's only good in high elo, he's getting nerfed for high elo. 1 second on Q is nice. The mana cost, yeah, maybe gonna like matter at like level 3, 4, 5. Even though he's running cookies, maybe it's gonna matter, probably not, maybe if he overspams it. Katarina gonna be Q playstyle now with AP, poke, probably gonna play Ari with sudden impact. The combo is you basically Q someone, then you E to a minion, while the Q is traveling, you also proc sudden impact for a lot of bonus damage, right? AD Katarina is just gonna be strictly probably worse in every case, besides maybe in lane. So this is laning buff Katarina, probably regardless of the build you play. Doran is going to be a worse item against her. Lucian, 5% total AD. Total AD. On passive. For 10 less damage on Q. So, trying to nerf solo lane, buff bot lane Lucian. You're only going to see Lucian probably with Nami. That's about it, right? When pro play like wakes up and picks Lucian Nami or some combo. That's about it. Orianna, 5% more EP on Q. Not a bad buff. Decent buff, I guess. More damage, it's like a gold scaling buff, right? So if she's not doing too well early game, she's gonna be dying a lot anyway. And honestly, this buff is fine. Yeah, you're still gonna be maxing W first though on Orianna. Qiyana, so we have like 3 armor, better lane, especially against ADC meta that's happening. And auto-attacks of mages, that does matter. Like even if you're playing Hui into Qiyana, you're sometimes auto-attacking Qiyana with Hui a lot, right? The Q is going to be doing 10 more damage on first rank, 10 less on last rank, but it gets 15% bonus AD. So basically Q is going to be doing more damage regardless at every single point in the game, especially in late game. You get a lot of bonus AD. But also in early game, this spell, like level 3, when she gets every spell 1 point, right? Her all-in is a lot stronger because the Q is doing 10 more damage, and that also means that her Earth Q is also going to be doing more damage when you're low HP, so she executes you easier, and also she casts 2 Qs on a combo, right, at level 3, so that's like at least 20 more damage in an all-in, which is not bad. Bonus damage to monsters up by 25%, which seems to be quite a lot, honestly, so maybe Qiyana jungle becomes a bit back. Definitely probably a better jungle champ than Sylas. Then we have a W nerf, so you're probably going to want to max this ability last now. And yeah, at level 13 onwards, you might be losing some damage in her combo because W also applies on her Q, right? And then you have R, and yeah, her R... What? What? Wait, where is the PB preview? Riot Froxon. 40.6. Qiyana ultimate R80 ratio 175, 125. Qiyana AD ratio 170 to 150. Yeah. Yeah, don't tell me this champ is just not mega buff this patch. This champ just got mega buff this patch. Come on, man. Wow. They actually didn't go with the nerf they wanted to go. I mean, this champ is gonna break some solo queue numbers. The win rate is gonna be giga high. I mean, yeah, she's probably gonna get a... my prediction is in a patch or 2 from now, she probably gets a nerf because her win rate is gonna be too high. Like, that's just reality, I think. Yeah, this is insane. Okay, well, Qiyana meta, I guess. Senna. So we have the Senna adjustments, making her better on support, worse on ADC, making her have more utility, be more utility based, making her be more, making AP items more viable on her. Maybe we're gonna see Senna with Echoes of Helia or like Moonstone or something. Probably not though. This is like the biggest one that triggers me. Her W is not gonna root longer at level 1 and level 5, which is like pretty fucking disgusting considering like, I don't know what is this like, Riot is having this like new norm that CC abilities can exceed 2 seconds. Like so many champions have this like new thing now where CC just lasts forever. I don't know why they're doing this. I hate it so much that CC is so powerful in League and there's so little options to counter it. R shield 20, up rank on first rank. So yeah, her R is shooting a bit more early. And then the big buff is also here that Black Cleaver now always applies a stack on hit. So Senna will apply 2 stacks on auto and 2 stacks on Q. So her Cleaver stacking is really insane. So it wouldn't surprise me if Senna becomes a Cleaver user again and we're gonna be buying Cleaver again on Senna, right? The build might be Cleaver Rush or like Borg Cleaver or something. Probably not Borg though, because items getting nerfed this patch for her. Skarner 20 more base health, 3 more AD, bonus AD ratio also going up. I think Skarner jungle is not too bad. Skarner top is probably not too good. So we have a Sylas, they're trying to give him more power. My assumption is that like he's still gonna be worse than he used to be, but we're kind of getting there. So a little bit more durability, a little bit more passive damage, and a little bit more W damage. So more incentivized to max W first now as well. Still gonna have less damage. Sylas is still missing some damage, right? He lost 20% AP ratio on E, 10% AP ratio on W, and Q 10% AP ratio on Q. So he's still missing some AP ratios, right? And still, his late game is still bad. I feel like if anything, this boss is just more early game centric. Which I don't know how to feel. He's still probably too bad. I don't know, maybe he will see another Sylas buff, I don't know. Syndra getting 30 damage on rank 1 of R. Depending on how many balls you have. So if you have 4 balls, that's 40 damage. If you have 5 balls, it's 50. And if you have 6 balls, it's 60 damage. In late game, it's pretty easy to get 6 ball ultimates. In early game, you usually get 4 or 5 ball ultimates most of the time. Probably 5. Actually, I would say 5 ball ultimates are usually what happens, especially at level 7 onwards. If you're Giga late game and you have a lot of haste, you can do 6 or 7 ball ults. That's pretty much it. So, right, so, yeah, I don't know. That's like 50 damage on average on ultimate. It's a lot. It's big, especially at level 6 all-ins. Vi will get 10 more damage on Q. Very small buff. Wukong will get 1 more armor per passive. And 5% more attack speed on E. So 5% attack speed also buffs his jungle clear. The passive bonus armor on jungle doesn't really matter that much when it comes to clearing, because you're kind of healthy with this champion anyway, like you are with every jungle champion, but this makes Wukong even better against physical damage team comps, which is fine. Cleaver is now going to be applying 2 stacks on hit. So if your champ buys Bork, you're really good at Cleaver abusing. There's a lot of other champions that like Titanic Hydra, and there's like some other champions that have on hits that will make Cleaver stacking really good. I think the champion that will probably get the most buff is Urgot, because Urgot passive I think applies now 2 stacks of Cleaver instead of 1. That means Urgot is gonna instantly apply full Cleaver stacks on you. Also, Riven is gonna be applying, I believe, 2 on Q and 2 on auto if she has a passive, I believe. So Riven is gonna stack up Cleaver really fast too. So Blade of the Ruin King is getting like a change. It's gonna be mostly nerf for range and fine on melees. So if you're Yone and Yasuo, you're still gonna be buying this item for sure. So attack damage down by 5 and attack speed down by 5, some stats wars, but the on-hit damage is going up for 1% only for melee. So obviously like every range champion is gonna be a lot worse with Bork. Lucian, Twitch, who else buys Bork? Maybe some Ashe players I know used to buy Bork. Vayne top, I guess. Like Vayne had Shiv and Kraken nerf for her, right? So maybe she went to Bork build, but now like Vayne is gonna be worse. Varus if he buys it, Kog'Maw if he buys it. These are all nerfs to these champions. I am very curious to see what's gonna happen with Yasuo and Yone, because one of the things that I think is gonna happen is that I think this nerf is gonna really hard affect Yasuo and Yone, because now because Zerkers lost 5% attack speed and Blade of the Ruin King lost 5% attack speed, and at the time when you hit Bork on Yasuo with Berserker together and Yone, and you have Alacrity on whatever stacks you have, I believe the Bork nerf is gonna make it so you don't get 1.33 attack speed Q cap. You're probably gonna need like very high amounts of level together. So I think this might affect Yasuo and Yone in a way where they're gonna be very sad about. Doran's Blade is no longer gonna be the king of Doran items. Doran's Blade was the best Doran's item in the game. Now it's gonna be way more comparable to Doran's Ring and Doran's Shield. Yasuo and Yone are probably gonna mainly swap to Doran's Shield in majority of matchups, unless the matchup's really free. But yeah, for those that don't know, Doran's Blade gives you 4% lifesteal, not 3, okay? Because 3.5% lifesteal, it rounds up to 4, okay? Just so you guys know. So this is a 1% lifesteal nerf, right here. And yeah, 20 health nerf as well. Item is still pretty good though, you know, don't get me wrong. Death Timer and Death Guard is probably the second biggest change. I mean, probably the biggest change of the patch, but the second most change that I'm, I guess, looking forward to is the Death Timer. So 4 seconds off first 2 levels. Actually, no, 4 seconds off first 4 levels, and level 5 to level 9. Sorry, wait. 4 seconds off every first 7 levels, actually. And then level 8 is also 4, and level 9. Sorry, first 4 seconds off first 8 levels, and level 9, 2 seconds off. And Pepega, lol. Yeah, dying in lane is gonna be a lot worse. Lane bullying is gonna be better. Taking Ignite for lanes is gonna be better. Taking TPs is gonna be worse. Champions that are naturally stronger in lane are getting benefited here. So, I don't know, random example, Draven is pretty much happy with these changes. Kalista is pretty much like anything that lane bullies is very happy with this. LeBlanc is really happy with this. Any champion that plays for kills and is good at killing and is good in early game is happy. Champions that are not good at early game are sad, like Kayle. Kayle wants to scale. Kayle having low death timers is good for her. This is very bad. This is very big Kayle nerf. So what I think is going to happen is, I think champions are going to directly gain win rate that are good in lane and champions that are bad at laning and good at scaling are probably gonna lose win rate. Right? That's what I think is gonna happen here. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna be a lot more careful dying, because dying now really is gonna hurt a lot more, right? This also nerfs like execution. Like if you get a level 1 kill on bot lane, it's gonna be much harder to execute now. Or like it's gonna be less work to execute to a tower. Same happens on top lane. This is also gonna be more punishment for proxying. If you're proxying and you die, right, you're dead for a lot longer now, so proxying at like high levels is no longer gonna be that worth it, because if you die on the proxy, you're dead for too long and then you lose too many plates, right? Or whatever. But the dev guards, so these are like the home guards that when you die, you get them for 8 seconds now instead of 5 seconds. So if you die and you run back to lane and you don't play TP, you're still fine, I guess. So that's good. And that's kind of it on the patch, right? We have a lot of arena changes. I haven't played arena in so long. Maybe I should try it again. Swarm. Leaving the game mode rotation on August 19th. Guys, we have 6 more days of Swarm. GG. Aram. LeBlanc, Nerf, and Tenacity. Good job, Riot. XD. Bug fixes. Is there anything interesting here? By popular demand from players, champion mastery points have been added back to the loading screen. Yeah, no one cares. What the fuck you mean popular demand? There seems to be some bug fixes on weird champions. Hextech Alternator no longer triggers other item effects. Whoa, that might mean that Syndra buying Hextech Alternator will no longer proc passive on her. That might mean, maybe this is like a Syndra nerf that I see right here. And we have the T1 skins coming out, okay. Anyway, TLDR of the patch is... The TLDR of the patch is that the Azir changes is going to be like 1 or 2% win rate in solo queue, especially in lower ranks. The higher you go, the less this is going to matter. Corki is going to be strictly nerfed for high elo solo queue. Katarina is going to gain win rate all across the board. It wouldn't surprise me if this is going to be nerfed in the future, because 240 might be a little bit of a too big of a number, an ability that is point and click and costs nothing and is pretty short cooldown. I think this might be a little bit too big number, but we'll see. Lucian, yeah, probably gonna die off. I don't think people are gonna play him anymore, especially in high elo. I think it's gonna die off and then magically revived by Nami or something one day. Orianna gets a pretty good buff. It's nice. Is she gonna be in pro? I doubt it, but it's a nice buff. Qiyana, probably too OP in solo queue. She's probably gonna be way too OP in solo queue. This is just, yeah. This is just insane buffs. Senna, overall, she's still gonna be fine. You're probably gonna need to adapt your build a little bit. Probably gonna be a good Cleaver user. Senna support still gonna be really good, if not even better than before. So kind of scared about that, because Senna support's very popular in high elo. But yeah, whatever. Then we have Skarner, okay champion. I think good jungler, probably bad top laner. Sylas, still not there yet. Gets a little bit better, mostly early into mid game buffs. Syndra, undeserved buff, doesn't really need it, she's really good, nothing else to add. Vi is like whatever, Wukong's like whatever. Cleaver is like really nice change for some certain champs. Bork is fine on melees, probably not that good on range anymore. You're probably like opting more into Shiv and Kraken, especially Shiv. I really think Riot needs to nerf Shiv, by the way. Not kidding, I really think Shiv is either too good compared to Kraken, or Kraken is too bad compared to Shiv. So for the future, I really think Riot needs to buff Kraken up a little bit or nerf Shiv a little bit further. Because I think the items are imbalanced. Shiv is way better than Kraken right now. Doran's Blade, still fine, but yeah, much worse. No longer the king of Doran items. And then the death timers and death guards. Biggest change of the patch. We'll see how it goes.